So we are continuing on with the 8 dimensions of well-being as our focus. And we are now to the phase where we are noticing how the different dimensions of well-being definitely impact one another, as well as how there is an interplay with our major energy centers throughout our body. Today, we're going to focus on the dimensions of well-being that are our emotional well-being and mental health, along with how that interplays with relational well-being. So, how we feel, our emotions, our thoughts create emotions, our emotions create our thought patterns. And those practices, or conscious or unconscious, impact our relationships, and vice versa. Our relationships definitely impact our mental health and our emotional well-being. So we're going to be looking at two of the energy centers that interplay with those significantly. And the one is the energy center at our sacrum, and the other is our energy center at our throat. Sacrum is often considered kind of the seat of our emotions. Obviously, that's oversimplified, but that's a concept that we will explore today. And then the throat is our communication center. And so it is directly impacted and impacting our relationships. So for today, with this practice, I invite you to either choose a comfortable seated position or a comfortable standing position where you can be firmly stable and grounded. If you choose any other position, obviously, absolutely fine. But come into whatever position it is that you feel is a best fit for you today. Take a few moments to settle in. If that means adjusting shoulders, shifting any parts of the body that you may not have noticed previously feel a little bit tense or sticky, take a moment to do that so that when you finally are able to bring some stillness to your position, you feel a bit more comfort, a little bit more comfort and ease to stay there for a few minutes. Closing your eyes if you choose to, completely up to you. And notice that you are breathing, possibly slowing that breath down if it feels comfortable, but not necessarily changing anything if you don't need to or choose to. As long as the breath is at a cadence that feels eased and comfortable at this point, it can help to increase that sense of ease and comfort throughout the physical body. And all of that creates a physiological cascade that helps our mental state become more eased and comfortable eventually. So, in certain philosophical and or theoretical teachings, our energy center at our sacrum is often associated with the element of water. And the energy center at our throat is often associated with the element of air or wind. So we're going to start playing a little bit with those two elements, especially the concept that they both have the ability to be free-flowing. And whenever there is a seeming barrier or blockage, they find a way to flow around it. So this next little bit, I'm going to offer you the opportunity to bring just a tiny little bit of movement into the torso or the body. If you're seated, then maybe it's just a slight, gentle sway side to side. If you're standing, it can be just a Little shift of weight from one side to the other. This ability to sway and bring in that sensation of being free flowing. It shifts the hormones in our bodies, so it has a physical impact. But those hormones then impact our mental, emotional, and energetic states as well. So just embodying this state of what it means to free flow. And if you're in an environment where you don't feel that it is in your best interest to do any physical movement, please feel free to stay still if you're more comfortable doing so. But you can still get that embodiment of what you imagine it feels like to sway or flow. You can continue with this swaying throughout the entire practice if it's feeling resonant with you. Or eventually, if you prefer, you're going to bring some stillness back into the body, but still keep that sensation, that imaginative sensation of the flow. So that energy center at our sacrum, it's associated with the element of water and flowing. And when it is balanced, we're able to access the ability to be adaptable and resilient. We also tend to hold a lot of stuck emotions in that sacrum and hip area. It doesn't mean those emotions aren't stuck throughout the body, but we notice them in our hips, in our sacrum, in the pelvis area. And those emotions can create some stuckness, some rigidity throughout the body. So now with your next few breaths, imagine on each exhale that you are releasing some of that rigidity, that stuckness. Because when we are holding an excess of stuckness, it hinders our ability to connect with our true self, our core self. It almost creates layers of barriers between the self that recognizes and is correlated with adaptation, resilience, our confidence, our pleasure, and even with our willingness to expand and explore, to take up space, to fully embody all of who we are, regardless of our conditioning, societal standards, others' expectations, but just truly who we are. And that takes confidence, that takes trust in ourselves. And recognize how stuckness in or with ourself often correlates to less openness or connection with others. Are we reacting from fear, or are we responding from our clarity of our true self? Are we projecting assumptions or listening deeply to what our true self is and can be? Continue with those exhales, releasing anything that you might identify consciously or unconsciously. You don't even need to necessarily name it, just inviting that stuckness. that rigidity to gently release. With each inhale now, inviting in more openness, inviting in more of a sense of exploration, especially of yourself, inviting in more of this idea of expansive energy. And then noticing again the greater connection you have to self. Does that enhance and increase your opportunities or self-acceptance? We know, we've experienced, but also it's been shown through research that an increase in self-acceptance correlates with our ability to be accepting of others. An increase in our self-confidence correlates with our ability and the amount of space we have to connect with others. Recognize now, as you let your focus move to the throat energy center, that area of communication, verbal, nonverbal, the messages we bring in from the outside world and from others, and the messages we send out from ourselves to others in the world. As you focus there, maybe acknowledge this idea that as I have more flow, less rigidity in myself, more self-acceptance, more confidence, more pleasure, more expansiveness in myself, less barriers from conditioning and stuck emotions and expectations, that my ability to express, connect, be in relationship with others can also expand, increase. And we'll tie this back to the idea that the more we are able to trust ourselves and experience what that is and how that feels for ourselves, the more we can become trustworthy for others. The more others are able to trust us and be in relationship with us, the more expansive, again, we can become in ourselves. It becomes a cycle. At this moment, I invite you to set an intention, if that resonates with you, whether it's just for the next few minutes to stay in exploration with yourself, maybe it's for the rest of the day or for a longer period. Set an intention that resonates with you around this idea of becoming more connected and accepting and confident with self, releasing tension, releasing that stuckness and rigidity. And perhaps that plays into an intention of how that connects with others. Whatever resonates with you, make it a phrase, a word, or a short sentence. Take a lengthened inhale and settle that into the very core of you, down into the depths of your belly. And on an exhale, gently release the chin forward. Maybe shift side to side again, like we were doing at the beginning, and gently blink the eyes open. Come back to your space. Recognize now if there's been any shifts, if at the very least, staying connected to your breath. Have a wonderful rest of your day.